On January the 11th, 1985, Rio de Janeiro held its first ever Rock In Rio festival, a 10-day music bonanza. Headlining that first day of the festival to a record-breaking crowd of 100,000 people were Whitesnake, Iron Maiden and Queen. I wasn't even born yet, but watching clips of Freddie Mercury singing Love of My Life whilst thousands upon thousands of people cling on and sing along to every single syllable brings a tear to my eye instantly. My friend's dad was Freddie Mercury's bodyguard and he was working the event. This piece of information is magically relevant later in the story. In 2001, Iron Maiden headlined Rock in Rio once again, fully understanding how special the festival was and boasting a legendary status after performing at the first iconic festival with Queen. They designed and built a mammoth stage production and show specifically for the festival, recorded a live album and DVD called Iron Maiden Rock in Rio. By this time, I was born, 10 years old, and due to my dad's influence, my ears were awake to the sound of rock music. I could not get enough of that album. The energy of the show transcends through headphones and speakers as if you were there. The South American audience give an unforgettable layer of additional vocals throughout, and when the crowd duet with the guitar intro of Fear of the Dark, it's my favourite Iron Maiden moment of all time. It gives you goosebumps and shivers and fills you with jealousy that you weren't there. Years later, Iron Maiden announced that on the 4th of October 2019, whilst touring the globe on their Legacy of the Beast tour, they would be headlining Rock in Rio once again. I'd be turning 29 on the 3rd of October, and it was fate that I celebrate not with candles or happy birthday, but in a mosh pit alongside topless tan Brazilian amigos as we roar and sing our hearts out to Iron Maiden's most esteemed setlist. The story then takes the juiciest of juicy turns when my friend, son of Freddie Mercury's bodyguard, informs me that he football coaches with someone who plays football for Iron Maiden FC, and he'll be going out there as well to play football. Relaying that this bloke knows one of the band members, he gives him my number and I receive a phone call. I'll leave their name out for GDPR reasons, but I answer the phone slightly nervous at how high stakes this conversation is, and I don't want it to be awkward. But being local to one another and talking about football and Iron Maiden, two subjects I'm well versed in, it was effortless and delightful. A chinwag that lasted over an hour and ended with, "I'll let Steve know you're going out there and keep you posted about the kickabout before the concert. Catch you later, mate." The phone goes down and I mused to myself how he said, "I'll let Steve know." Steve. Steve to him is a mate from school that he's known forever. However, Steve to me is Steve Harris, the founding member, lead songwriter and bass guitarist of Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden, the greatest heavy metal band of all time, with music, branding and showmanship that has influenced my entire being. The reason I asked for a replica Stratocaster guitar for Christmas when I was in primary school, and whom encouraged me to write my own songs because I couldn't play theirs. And the fact that their mascot Eddie shares my name, the love affair really is absolute and complete. And here I am having a conversation with someone who refers to the mastermind behind it all affectionately as Steve. But I think to myself, play it cool, Trigger. I'm off to Rio with my brother for my birthday, and my brother has connections with the festival PR team through his work as Travel Dave UK, so I knew it was going to be an amazing trip regardless. And so, let's begin my epic trip exploring Rio de Janeiro and watching Iron Maiden Rock in Rio. Travelling, travelling, off we go, it's the travel part of the Edo show. Travelling, travelling, off we go, we're all going travelling. We began the trip like any good one should, in Nando's. I've heard that Nando's Gatwick did a cooked breakfast and I was keen to try it. It was decent. We jumped on the plane, sporting our Iron Maiden t-shirts, and excitedly nodded at other hairy tattooed passengers doing the same thing. Upon arrival, we were greeted by a welcomed poster. We'd booked a super cheap Airbnb in Santa Teresa, authentically in the mix of everything. We mainly got Ubers everywhere and it worked a treat. I'd defo stay there again even if it was a little rough around the edges. As soon as we dropped our bags off, we walked around the town to get a feel for the place and stumbled across some pretty tiled steps artist made famous by Snoop Dogg and Pharrell Williams in the video for Beautiful. I couldn't quite get over how busy it was just to look at some steps. It was all very social media-y, including myself, and it made me feel a bit sick and claustrophobic. I realised that when I see Jesus, I want to get there super early to avoid every single one of them. An inexpensive way to explore some of the town from the comfort of a chair was to jump on the tram. We got off near the favelas for some Brazilian scran, barafa, a rice and bean dish with tapioca flour. I wasn't a huge fan, but the franjo e batatas fritas was banging. Another great way to bed yourself into Rio, getting your bearings and working out what you want to do on your visit, is by faring the seas on a boat tour. It wasn't the most exciting of things, but it was cool to connect the dots and start to piece together how we wanted to plan our days. The Science Museum looked double funky, however the queue was ridiculous, so we swerved it and just got some pics of the cool building instead. By this point, we'd fallen in love with the electric scooters dotted about, and so scooted our way to the next stop, Sugar Loaf Mountain, to catch the sun setting. This was quite a unique experience, hopping across from one mountain to another via an old cable car. Great fun. It was kind of magical at the top, palm trees and gift shops. But the most special moment for us was when we found a quiet bar at the very back, and whilst everyone was queuing to get down, we sipped cocktails and enjoyed the incredible view of the city at night, whilst all the lights waved back at us. The next morning was all about Christ the Redeemer, and I wanted to avoid people at all costs. However, our enthusiasm of the 5 a.m. Uber cab to the location fell short when the site wasn't open yet. Understandably, most people only speak Portuguese in Brazil, and so it was hard to pick out exactly what was going on. But after some ping-ponging with Google Translate, essentially we found out that the car park wasn't open yet, and so no cars were allowed through. And the buses and trams situation that take people up to the Jesus statue started running when the gates opened at 8 a.m. Meaning our options were either to wait for a few hours or someone was pointing at a map of a trail.
Good morning UK, so it's Travel Edo here, Travel Dave. Woke up bright and early to go to the Christ Redeemer, but nothing's up and running yet, so we're going for a trek up there through the woods. It says on all the travel guides not to take the jungle because apparently you get mugged, but I don't think gangsters get up early. I just can't imagine it. I think they're still sitting in bed after a long shift last night, so we're going to chance our luck. But if you don't hear from me, I've been mugged, that's why. Can't lie though, it does add to the sense of excitement, a bit of air of danger about it that you don't get going up Snowdon. Whew. So we're at the top now, we just got to wait in line, we're the first ones here. Nothing says 7 wonders of the world like waiting in a queue.
Amongst all of the confusion, Portuguese voices, a complete ghost town, we found the whole whimsical nature of how unorganised, chaotic and random our morning had been funny. And so we didn't actually realise at the time how amazing the opportunity in which we'd poised ourselves actually was.
The Brazilian nut was not named after Brazil, Brazil was named after the nut. And out of all the wonders of the world, the pyramids is the only 7 to stand today. But the new wonders of the world, Christ Redeemer is one of them, and that's what we're going to see today.
At 8 a.m, the gates opened, both at the bottom of the hill to start selling tickets for the tram and at the top to let me and Dave in. The staff member opening the gates, who'd enjoyed watching us queue by ourselves for some time, said, "Approviete, voce tem elso separa voce." I asked him to repeat again into my Google Translate, and it said, "Enjoy. You have him all to yourself." A sentence that stays with me and makes me emotional at how simple and perfect words collected can be, because he knew what we was about to experience, even if at that moment in time we didn't.
Just running up the stairs because we're actually the first to arrive for the day to see the big man himself. Woo! Look at that. Unbelievable. Wow. That's insane.
It was so peaceful. I stood in silence just staring, trying to get my head around how it was even built, which made me revel in the greatness of human achievement, craftsmanship and knowledge. It's magnificent. Things like this don't just get built unless there's an immense desire from human spirit, and you can feel that spirit in his presence.
So we just had half hour to ourselves with the big man Jesus Christ, and what unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. I can't stress enough to get here early, go through the jungle and get here before the tourists turn up, because they just have. And the minute you hear them Americans go, oh my God, I mean, look at it, it's a completely different experience, and I wanted to get away, but we didn't have that at all. It's just us, and just an amazing spiritual experience.
Next up, we visited the National Park Tijuca. As we'd been told, it was a great spot for breakfast. Nestled in the stunning ancient baths amongst an art gallery, being watched from above by our mate Jesus, the banquet served is awesome. Although, we definitely didn't need to get one each. However, it seemed for the rest of the restaurant a good old chuckle as they watched us realise this. We then made our way to Copacabana Beach. It was slightly overcast, but alas, we sat at a beach bar and ordered 2 caipirinhas, which is Brazilian's national cocktail made of cachaça, sugarcane hard liquor, sugar and lime. We kept getting approached by people selling novelties, and the novelty of this soon wore off, and we ventured further round the coast upon my friend's recommendation, as he said Ipenema Beach is where it was at. First though, a quick pit stop to watch Arsenal play and eat some delicious ribs. Ipenema Beach was super cool, really vibey. There's like little gangs along the beach with chairs, umbrellas and beverages. It seemed a little bit sketchy at first, however they were really hospitable, served delicious cold cans and stopped the annoying people selling us stuff. We sat there drinking all day and it didn't break the bank at all. I'd definitely recommend. We stopped for some more munch, a steak and cheese sandwich, which seemed to be very popular. Next up on the agenda was watching the local football team Flamengo battle it out in a semi-final against Gremio. Did I mention it was my birthday? So we headed to a fun-looking pub to celebrate. Whilst there, I received a text from my Maiden FC link apologising that he wasn't going to be able to make it out to Brazil in time as they'd moved the football game a day forward. I was looking forward to meeting him, so it was a bummer. However, it was such a fun trip. Everything was all just bonuses at this point. And so if the football match didn't work out, I wasn't going to be too upset. And then I received a text. Hello, it's Eddie from Iron Maiden's management. This made me laugh, as either they use that name as a generic pseudonym or they only hire people that are called Eddie. We're meeting at Zico Stadium, 12:30. See you there. Wow. Dave, we're going to go meet Steve Harris tomorrow and play football. Happy birthday, mate. Time for another one of those delicious steak sandwiches. The whole steak, cheese and pineapple thing seems very popular in Rio. Match day.
So 28-year-old Eddie Brett here, just checking in from Rio de Janeiro. We're currently at a football pitch and I am playing the Iron Maiden FC football team. So Steve Harris is out there at the moment. Yeah, unfortunately they had too many people on their team, so I've got to go on the away team. And yeah, I feel a bit like Cesc Fabregas when he first played against Arsenal, but I can't believe this is actually happening. It's a bit mad. So the transfer window just opened up and I am now playing for Iron Maiden FC.
It really was such a great day, super chill, everyone was relaxed, we just blended in, got invited to a barbecue with literally a handful of people. I got chatting to Steve's son George. We grew up near each other and so discussed playing at the Harlow Square. I missed that place, it got knocked down to build flats. Very lame from Harlow Council. Steve was a gent and it was most bizarre talking to him. And even more bizarre when he told us he'd sorted backstage passes. It was like something from Wayne's World. But then it also just felt like we was having a barbecue at my aunt's house. Seeing as it was my birthday, and to enable us some extra sleep and save money on cabs, we booked 2 nights at a fancy hotel nearer to the Rock In Rio site and watched another Arsenal game. Time for dinner at Fogo de Chão.
So basically how this works is there's a salad bowl over there that's like harvester on acid, and then And another one. Chicken heart. Do we have time to eat it?
Delicious, it's special.
I said no, I didn't want it. He's making me have it.
Bit of the lamb for David. Little bit of the lamb for David. Edo would love a little bit of lamb, please. Where's our bit of lamb for Edo? There is. Yes, please. Muchas gracias. It's a strange concept for a restaurant. I mean, it would make a vegan jump off the Eiffel Tower. When it does come, make a T-Rex feel at home and hot, salty fat. Really does. Would it work in London? Probably not. Does it work for me right now? It's a lot. I think it's a bit too much. A bit absolutely stuffed. This fresh plate for
The hump.
you're getting more food.
I'm getting the hump.
Oh my gosh! What am I watching? Dave's just munching on that cow. It's not the future. Vegan is the future.
So, we just finished our meal. It was, let's discuss. Personally, I'm leaving feeling bloated and disgusting. I enjoyed the food as it came, but now I'm like, that was too much. And I don't want to leave anywhere feeling like I need to be rolled out of the gaff. Do you know what I mean? How are you feeling?
I thought the meat was excellent. The combination of a really nice Argentinian wine. I like the concept. Thank you very much, Tipsy, for this delicious drink. It's awfully kind of you.
And now time for the main event, Rock in Rio.
A little bit of the Black Eyed Peas, Dave. What about yourself?
Yeah, let's take a
To the Black Eyed Peas, please, mon frère. Just currently backstage at Rock In Rio, you know, it's just casual, Steve hooked us up, didn't he?
We went to watch George Harris's band Raven Age, who were supporting Iron Maiden on their Legacy of the Beast tour. Steve was actually in the audience with us watching their set for the first time. He had his hood up and expertly managed to remain under the radar. He nodded at us, #Bezies. There was also this really cool string trio rocking out to some metal classics.
5 minutes time, 5 minutes for Maiden.
It was all leading up to this moment. just like that, it was all over. What a trip.